world of shipping carries millions of tons of goods to many destinations every minute of the day. Moving trade around like this can be for many nations a lifeline. Depending on shipping to carry such a variety and in many cases important supplies, it is down to the captain and his crew and how they run the ship that trade moves as smoothly as it does. For crew members to do their jobs well, the ship has to be well maintained. Ultimately, the ship's condition is the owner's and the captain's responsibility, but it is the duty of a good crew to act as their eyes and ears. In the lifetime of a ship, it will have to undergo many inspections and surveys. But why do ships have surveys? In order to build and maintain a ship, whether it is to carry goods or passengers, it has to meet stringent international requirements concerning hull structure, essential shipboard machinery, and various other equipment and arrangements concerning safety and pollution prevention. Shipping is an international business, and at the International Maritime Organization, the IMO, over 150 member states meet to produce international agreements on marine safety and pollution prevention. Requirements for safety and for preventing pollution, when agreed at the IMO, are published as international conventions, which are then adopted by individual governments. The conventions do not, however, contain detailed requirements for the ship's structural design and machinery. These requirements are matters which are decided by the rules of the classification societies and are based on research and feedback from survey reports. To confirm that a ship is fit for service, from the drawing board and over its expected lifespan, a number of certifiable surveys must be carried out during its construction and life in service. Above all, surveys are a way of ensuring that the ship continues to comply with relevant convention and classification requirements, and with regular on-board maintenance, it will remain so until the next due survey. A survey is an inspection of whatever structure or equipment is named on the certificate. A survey also ensures that the ship continues to comply with all the international and class requirements. With the advent of port state inspections, it is now more likely than ever before that a ship which is not maintained will be detained in port. When a survey has been successfully completed, a certificate will be issued or endorsed to record the fact. So just how can you help your ship complete a survey satisfactorily and receive the necessary certificate? One of the key factors is planning. Planning and good organization, looking ahead at the survey requirements. When is the survey required?
The safety survey that's coming up.
What is needed to enable the survey to be satisfactorily completed?
Everything's okay for it.
What items might not pass an inspection? Is the necessary paperwork in order?
Find any defects with it?
Be familiar with your type of vessel.
It's one for the deck.
Regular management planning meetings like this are useful.
Any defects, mark them down and get that all out the way before the surveyor comes out.
They will ensure that those with the responsibility for preparing the survey have the information they need. Where possible, the items to be surveyed should be examined some weeks beforehand. Delegate suitable people to do this work. Any damage or defect that is found should be reported in order that it can be repaired before the survey. If your ship has a planned maintenance program on board, consult it. It will list the work which must be done to prepare for the survey. The surveyor may need to enter areas which may affect stevedore arrangements and schedules. By having a teamwork approach and being prepared, you'll be helping everyone to get the ship through the survey satisfactorily, allowing it to continue its trading without interruption. It is important to know when surveys are due. So gather all the certificates, including classification certificates and documentation together, and check their validity. File them, making them easily accessible, so that the duty officer can produce all the documents to the surveyor. That avoids wasting the surveyor's time while you search for them. Regular on-board maintenance work will, in many instances, prevent the need for expensive repairs or renewals at survey and delays at port state inspection. So, be prepared. World shipping standards are tough and stringent, whatever the vessel. They have to be. Your life is at stake. Over a period of time, you're going to come across a number of surveys. But to understand what an annual safety equipment survey is, it's best to know what the surveyor expects and how he's going to survey the ship.
Safety equipment survey is a survey of all life-saving appliances and firefighting equipment to make sure that everything is properly maintained and in good order, and nothing is missing. The surveyor will also want to be satisfied that nothing is outstanding, and the ship's crew knows how to use all the equipment. To help me as a surveyor to carry out the safety equipment survey in an expedited way, the ship's crew should first of all help themselves by knowing their ship, knowing their equipment, and carrying out all the drills in a conscious manner.
All the ship's safety equipment is listed in its record of inspection or in its record of equipment, a copy of which is held aboard ship. The surveyor will check the ship's safety equipment against the items listed in the record of inspection, and when he's satisfied with everything, will sign the safety equipment certificate. Make sure you have seen the record of inspection and are familiar with its contents. It will give you a clear and precise picture of what equipment is associated with a safety equipment survey.
Okay, did you ever work before with hydraulic winches and windlass?
Yes, well, I've did with hydraulics once, but the ones I worked on were separate.
The surveyor may ask any of you exactly how a piece of equipment works.
You must take the clutch off the two winches, which I guess would probably work here, similar to this one. Safety pin off.
Be fully aware of operation instructions and the maintenance routines practiced on your vessel, and ensure that the equipment operates satisfactorily. Check the pyrotechnics, the flares, line-throwing rockets, smoke floats. You can't set them off, but check their expiry dates to see if they're still valid. If they're out of date, order new ones, then dispose of the old ones correctly. Don't throw them overboard, give them to the agent. The navigational equipment. Are the navigational lights working? Is all the documentation in order and up to date? Are the daytime navigation signal shapes ready and in good order? Seems simple, but check them. Life jackets should be strategically placed around the ship. Are they where they should be if needed in an emergency? Consult the ship's safety plan or safety equipment records for locations. Do you know where your life jacket is? Remember, you may be asked to find it and show how to put it on. Is the whistle and a light attached and working? Life buoys. Check the batteries, lights and smoke canisters, the becketing and the rope line. Are they in good condition and in working order? Life rafts. Are they in good order? When are they due to be serviced? Are the hydrostatic releases okay? Do they need servicing? Is the painter correctly attached to a strong point on the ship by means of a weak link? Lifeboats. Check that the launching and recovery system works. That includes checking the davits, their foundations, the winches, all blocks and running gear, and the governor system which controls the lowering. Is the quick release system sound? and can it be released from inside the boat? Remember, any quick release gear is dangerous if wrongly used. It must only be maintained and operated under supervision, strictly in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. The surveyor may check the lifeboat hook foundations, as these corrode. They should be chipped away to solid metal. If they're badly wasted, they'll have to be renewed. If your lifeboat is fitted with head restraints and safety harnesses, do you know how to work them? Check the buoyancy tanks and that the overall structure of the lifeboat is in good order. Although no longer required as part of the survey, is the survival radio in working order. It will report your position at sea in an emergency. And don't forget the walkie-talkies.
Okay, Manny, how do you copy me?
They could provide a vital link in an emergency.
Okay, me too.
The bowsing tackles, fore and aft. Are they ready to hand? Are the plugs positions clearly marked, readily available, and attached to the boat? Is the engine operational? Do you know how to start up the lifeboat engine? Read the ship's training manual and try it yourself under supervision of a responsible person. It could save your life. A deck officer or qualified person may decide to cast off and take the lifeboat around the harbour. Learn how it is done. You could save lives if, in an emergency, you are called upon to sail it. Lifeboat and pilot ladders. These are provided on the ship as shown in the record of inspection. They should reach the water at light draft with the ship listed. Are they and their securing arrangements in sound condition with no breakages or damages? Fire safety. Do you know the evacuation plans? How to evacuate each compartment? Fire escape arrangements are crucial. Be sure you're aware of duties assigned to you as shown on the ship's muster list, and that you're aware of the content of the ship's training manual. Do the fire dampers work? Are the open and closed positions of the fire dampers correctly marked? Have the fire extinguishers been properly maintained? If in doubt, ask your owners or call the manufacturer's representative. And don't forget the extinguishers in the engine room too. They also need checking. And the fire pumps, particularly the emergency fire pump, must be checked to make sure that it remains operational. Have the fire hoses been checked? You may well be asked to unreel one and test it for the surveyor. They should be run out to check for holes or brittleness. The alarm for the release of CO2 gas in the engine room, has that been tested? No, then it must be checked. The fire alarm, does it work? Do you know what it sounds like? Smoke detectors must be tested. In a fire, it's not always the fire that kills you. Smoke is silent and deadly, and also a killer.
Hold the mask to your face. Turn the air on.
A well-maintained BA set and a well-trained team can be vital in an emergency. Are the bottles full? Do you know how to check yours and how to put it on in any condition? Be ready for any question the surveyor may ask you. The ship could be failed if you don't know how to use the equipment properly.
Lift the mask off your face. It should start blowing. Yeah, that's okay. There's your whistle. That works fine. Now turn the air back on. Check your pressure. Now you're safe to proceed.
What if the lights go out? Has the emergency lighting been checked? And are the positions of lights identified? Have the main and emergency power supply systems been checked? Has a senior engineer checked the alarm system in the engine room? Don't wait until it's too late. Check it. Look around the engine room. Are there pieces of equipment lying around that shouldn't be? What about rags, oil or other combustible materials? They could start a fire. Keep the engine room tidy and as clean as possible. The surveyor will check it. Can you find your way to the deck using the emergency arrows and lighting? The surveyor may ask you to do just that. Muster lists. These tell you where you have to muster and what you must do in an emergency. Do you know what you have to do? These are only some of the things to be aware of when a safety equipment survey is due and may vary from vessel to vessel. A full list is in the ship's record of inspection. Be familiar with your ship and help by being prepared. These things can be essential to your lives. A lot of these procedures have been learned the hard way. People have died because they haven't done what they should have. Don't put your life at risk. If there's any safety work to be done, do it now. Once the ship and the equipment have been checked, come the day of the survey, the surveyor will see that everything is correct and that everyone is clear about his duties, and he will renew your certificate. The surveyor is there to help you make sure your ship is safe and seaworthy. Keep the captain or your superior informed at all times or at the next scheduled planning meeting of any problems regarding the safety and operation of your vessel. Preparation for surveys is as important as any other work you do. Remember, planning and teamwork, delegating responsibilities.
Thank you very much.
With all the necessary papers signed, the survey complete, the ship can continue in service with valid documentation. Keep in mind the procedures you've been through on this particular survey, because in the future there will be other surveys. Remember what you've learned. This video showed some of the preparations for a safety equipment survey. There are two other videos in the trilogy, Load Line Survey and Safety Construction Survey, to help you in being prepared.